The world is swallowed by an eerie silence. You're standing alone on a desolate, fog-choked road that stretches endlessly into the darkness. The air is thick, heavy with mist, and the faint glow of a distant street lamp flickers like a dying heartbeat. No cars, no people, just you, and the creeping dread that something's watching from the shadows. Suddenly, you hear it, a low, guttural rumble slicing through the stillness. Headlights pierce the fog, faint at first, then blinding. A bus emerges, slow and deliberate, like a predator stalking its prey. It's the last bus of the night, the only way back home. You have to get on. But deep down, something feels wrong. Terribly wrong. Because this isn't just any bus. This is Route 375. And it's not taking you home. It's taking you somewhere else. Somewhere that'll make your soul tremble. Now hold that image in your mind. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't just a story. It's a nightmare that one passenger lived through. A nightmare so twisted, so horrifying, that it's become the world's most unsolvable mystery. A tale of a bus, its passengers, and a terror that defies explanation. So, buckle up, subscribe if you dare, because this is going to get dark. The night it began, November 14th, 1995, China. Route 375 runs from Yuan to Pregnant Hills, a short 16-kilometer stretch. Nothing special, just a late-night bus for workers heading home. That night, the fog was suffocating, blanketing the road in a ghostly shroud. Visibility? Zero. The driver could barely see past the windshield, but the bus rolled on, its engine growling through the dead of night. At Summer Palace stop, 4 souls waited in the haze. A young couple, an old woman with sharp, wary eyes, and a jittery guy in his early 20s. They climbed aboard. Inside, only 2 others, the driver and the conductor, both silent, their faces unreadable. The couple grabbed seats behind the driver. The old woman and the young guy sat across from each other, exchanging uneasy glances. It was past 2 a.m., the final ride of the night. After this, the bus would head to the depot. Or so they thought. The fog thickened. The headlights barely cut through it. The driver's voice broke the silence, tense and low. This road's a death trap. Should we take a detour? The conductor, old woman, and young guy nodded. Better safe than sorry. But the couple, they scoffed. No detour. Drop us at the next turn. We're close enough to walk. Their stop came. They stepped off into the mist and vanished. 4 remained. The driver, the conductor, the old woman, and the young guy. The bus lurched forward into the black. The strangers. The road turned wild, flanked by gnarled trees and endless shadows. No sound but the engine's drone. Pin-drop silence gripped the bus. The old woman stared out the window, her breath fogging the glass. The young guy fidgeted, restless. Then screech! The brakes slammed. Everyone jolted. What the hell? The young guy shouted, heart pounding. The driver turned, pale as death. Look ahead, he whispered. They signaled me to stop. 3 figures stood in the road, motionless, like statues carved from the fog. They boarded. And that's when the air turned ice cold. These weren't normal passengers. They wore tattered robes, ancient, regal, caked in filth like they'd clawed their way out of a grave. The one in the middle swayed, his arms draped over the other 2, his face hidden by a curtain of matted hair. Drunk. Number something worse. The old woman's gut twisted. She leaned toward the conductor, voice trembling. Something's off. I don't like this. The conductor forced a smile. Relax. There's a theater nearby. Probably actors from a play. But her words rang hollow. The old woman wasn't buying it. Why were their clothes so decayed? Why did the middle one's hair cover his face like a mask? And why, God why, did the air feel so wrong? She stole glances at them, her side eye catching every detail. The silence grew heavier, suffocating. The bus rolled closer to Pregnant Hills. They were almost there, almost safe, or so she hoped, the breaking point. A gust of wind rattled the windows. The driver's eyes drooped. He was fading, exhaustion clawing at him. Then, a flash. A black cat darted across the road, eyes glowing like embers. Screech! Another brake slam. The old woman crashed into the young guy. "You okay?" he asked. She didn't answer, just scrambled back to her seat, her face a mask of terror. Moments later, she shot up, screaming, "My purse! It's gone!" She pointed at the young guy. "You stole it when we hit the brakes." He blinked, stunned. "What? No. Search me. I'm innocent." She didn't listen. She slapped him hard. Chaos erupted. The conductor and driver intervened. "Enough. Get off, both of you." Saw this at the police station down the road. As they stepped into the night, the old woman heard a low, guttural chuckle from the faceless stranger. Her blood ran cold. The truth revealed. The young guy trembled as they stood in the fog. "Why do you do that? I didn't steal anything." The old woman turned, her eyes blazing with a mix of fear and relief. "Shut up and listen. I didn't care about the purse. I saved your life." He froze. "What? What do you mean?" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Those three. They want you. When they boarded, I felt it. Something evil. I kept watching them. Then the wind blew, and I saw it. The middle one's hair lifted. He had no face, no eyes, no mouth, just a void. And their feet. They didn't touch the ground. They were floating. Ghosts. Demons. I don't know what, but they weren't alive. I staged that fight to get us out before they took us." The young guy's knees buckled. He hugged her, tears streaming. "But the driver and conductor, they're still on that bus." She nodded grimly. "We need to warn the police. Now, they vanished." They raced to the station, breathless, spilling the story. The officers smiled. Another late-night ghost tale. They brushed it off. Defeated, the old woman and young guy left, praying the others would survive. But the nightmare was just beginning. November 15th. The bus never reached Pregnant Hills. Police scoured CCTV footage. The last frame. The old woman and young guy stepping off. After that, nothing. The bus vanished. No trace on any camera, despite the route being lined with them. A full day of searching turned up empty. Then on November 16th, a chilling discovery. 100 kilometers away, far beyond its route, the bus lay submerged in a river. Police hauled it out. Inside, 3 bodies, rotted beyond recognition. The driver, the conductor, and the faceless stranger, still in his ancient robes. 2 days dead, yet their corpses were decayed to the bone, as if they'd been rotting for months. In water. How? The fuel tank? Empty of gas, but brimming with blood. Thick, dark, and fresh. The unsolved horror. How does a bus travel 100 kilometers with no fuel? How do bodies decompose that fast underwater? Where did it go after that last CCTV frame? And those other 2 figures, where are they? Were they spirits? Killers? Something worse? No answers. Not then. Not now. The mystery of Route 375 remains a gaping wound in reality. But here's the kicker. Some say the bus never stopped running. That every night, in the fog, it prowls Pregnant Hills, hunting, waiting. So next time you're out late, stranded, and the bus rolls up, check the route, check the passengers, and pray it's not 375, because if it is, you're not going home.